Okay, it's going now. Okay.
It's
Okay.
going now?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Secular Ultra Quran, your one-stop shop for everything secular, ultra, and Quran. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering Surah 2, verses 204 through 242.
I was saying 204.
204, yeah, no, I gotcha. That makes sense, too.
Mhm.
So...
Because 204 would be like
a time.
2 verse 4.
Oh, sure. Well, I
But
mean...
it's 204 through 242.
Sure, yes,
is-
204 through 242. Yes, that is correct. Also, I don't know about the little scuffle at the beginning.
I also don't, but
Yeah.
we have apparently, according to OBS, we're 1 second difference.
Ah, okay.
It just connected slower
Weird.
when the recording started,
Interesting.
Wonderful.
and it says we are dropping frames occasionally, but I don't see
Yeah,
it
I mean-
impacting us.
Right, yeah, nothing's
Oh,
popping up on our
no.
side. Yeah.
Hey, chat. Hey, you listening in chat right now. Do you watch the stream or do you just listen to the stream?
Yeah, we tried finding that out last time. Nobody noticed any of the little things I did.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Right.
I think at some point I just kind of stopped paying attention.
Chris made it obvious. You should go back and watch the episode.
Yeah, go watch last episode after this and actually watch it, and you'll see stuff.
Okay, so you both view and listen.
Well, we hope you. Okay, we do have a friend who just views and doesn't listen.
Never see the one-stop shop
Yeah.
thing because YouTube doesn't load it.
Yeah, it's because it's like since the timing isn't exactly perfect and we want to get it right when it starts, like it's not really reliable.
You know-
So sometimes it'll get cut off a little bit.
A lot of people use a buffer, like
Sure, yeah.
some intro music. And we
Oh,
have
yeah.
intro music
We
on the
still aren't
board.
doing that.
We
I
play
God,
the
that would have been
intro
so
music.
easy.
Yeah, we could do that.
It's sick intro music. It's the best. It came with the board.
Right.
I'm not doing that.
You play
again.
it. Play the intro music.
I don't have to hear this at least. So.
That's true, you don't.
Here you go.
And I know actually you don't either.
Neither do
Because
I.
I'm literally the only person hearing it right now,
Yep.
aside from you
Sorry,
guys.
It's
dude.
such a great song.
Yeah, it's generic like radio. Welcome to the radio.
Yeah, and hello everybody. Welcome to Secular Ultra Quran.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. That makes sense if you're modding that you're mostly watching. That makes sense.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know what? Actually, we were having some issues with OBS earlier. Actually, just trying to get it to load. So because of that,
We're currently dropping about a third of the frames. It
Well,
says.
I mean, it looks like on our
Doesn't
end everything
look
seems okay,
And
but
all different. So
Well,
because of that, like I at least couldn't share.
if you guys in the audience notice, then let us know.
Yeah. But either way, so today we are covering. I think there's gonna be some stuff about the devil, which is why I got him here in the back, and then also some rules for life. We talked about
how
rules
many?
for how many? Well, you know what? This is
Are
actually.
there going to be 12?
I sure hope not. I hope not. If there were 12, I'd be very sad.
It'd be pretty funny if there were 12.
It would be funny, but it would also be sad.
only 12 rules for life.
No, don't. Okay. So rules for life. We talked about punishments for disbelievers, and then like rules for believers. But these are, I guess, just more general rules on how you should live. Because last time it was like, oh, here's some special holidays, and here's how you observe those, right? So these are different.
Well, without further ado, I have the Study Quran and the Quran from the Quran Project, as well as the Penguin Classics Quran.
We have a thematic commentary on the Quran, and for as far as Qurans go, we have the Holy Quran translated by Abdullah Yusuf Ali. We have another Quran from Maulana Muhammad Ali, and the Quran and the Bible from Gabriel Said Reynolds. Those are the versions and commentaries that we have.
Now,
And I'm still shocked at how enormous this thing is. It's
Well,
like, this is like comedy
look,
large.
for the entire Sunday show, I was using a giant fairy tale Bible that was like comedic.
That is true. That is
But
true.
this is also comedic.
Right, and the thing is, the front cover is a little cartoony, but the size is definitely cartoony.
Yes. So let me hop into verse 204.
Yeah, sounds good.
And among mankind is he whose talk of the life of this world impresses thee. And he calls God as witness to see what is in his heart, though he is the fiercest of adversaries.
Yeah, among the people is he whose talk about worldly life impresses you.
Mhm.
Yeah, holds God witness to what is in his heart. Let's see here. Various conjectures have been made as to the particular person meant, but the best authorities agree that no particular person is meant. Great, okay. The context also shows that the words relate to mischief makers who assured the prophet of their sympathy with him, but who were really waiting for an opportunity to inflict loss upon the Muslims. So is that kind of like, well, I mean, that last part at least,
Yeah,
waiting for the
some
opportunity to inflict loss.
commentators
That's-
mention the occasion for the revelation of this verse as an incident in which some Meccans pretended to want to learn about Islam and asked the prophet to send a delegation of learned men to teach them. When the delegation was sent, it was ambushed and they were murdered on the road to Mecca by the Quraysh.
Oh, okay. So I could this is kind of like the was in Proverbs, right? Those guys hiding out, waiting to strike. It's not quite like that, because it seems like this is a person who will use the name of God to justify their actions, right? In this case, it's
And
like
they're the fiercest of adversaries.
right, yeah. So to witness as to that which is in his heart, so things he believes, and he says, "Oh, look, God, accepts these things I believe." So is this a further extension of like the false prophet stuff that we got?
It could be, but I don't think so. We shouldn't project too much of
Sure,
that
sure.
here. I know we have the term adversary, which of course reflects ha-shaitan, the adversary.
True,
in
but,
the biblical tradition, but I don't think that's how this is used here. I think this is just like a generic bad dude.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when it says enemies, I don't know the Arabic, right? So like, I would, and it doesn't look like it says it in any of the commentaries with the,
Not in mine either.
yeah, unfortunate. Although we do have the Arabic, that doesn't help me.
Because you didn't read Arabic.
I tried for 50 days.
It's too hard.
It is very difficult. I was doing Duolingo Arabic for 50 days, and it was very hard.
It just looks like squiggly lines to me.
Well,
Like,
sure, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know.
If you squint, so does our language. Anyways.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all
sure,
squiggly lines, yeah.
But I know what those squiggly lines look like. I know what they're supposed to mean. I don't know what these squiggly lines. are
Yes, that's how
supposed to mean.
that's how scripts work. Good
Yeah.
job.
The more you know.
So the glib hypocrite who appears worldly wise but plans harm, contrasted with the sincere believer who is prepared to suffer martyrdom for his faith. Commentators give names of people who exemplified these types. Yeah, but the mischief maker has a smooth tongue and indulges in plausible talk with many oaths. He appears to be worldly wise, and though you may despise him for his worldliness, you may not realize his frauds. Behind your back, he is an implacable enemy, stirs up quarrels. Yeah, so this is exactly the kind of guy. At least this commentator is with
So
that.
he's an r/nice guy.
No, not quite. He could be.
Could be.
He could be.
Arabic's Greek to April, but you can't use that.
No, I can't use
expression
that.
anymore. Yeah, it's off limits to you.
Well, the thing is, I could if I understood the language. I'd be like, yeah, that's Greek to me.
Hmm
And that would just be like, yeah, I know this language.
See, like
inverted.
Russian.
Yeah, yeah. I'd be
Greek
like, that's
to
great
you.
to me.
Anyways, and when he turns away, he endeavors on the earth to work corruption therein, and to destroy tillage and offspring. But God loves not corruption.
Destroy tillage?
Mhm.
Interesting.
So, like plundering their fields.
Yeah, I get that. It is the translation here is weird because it says, and destroy tilleth and offspring,
Hmm.
which is a spelling I have not seen.
Yes, odd. And when it is said to him, reverence God, vainglory seizes him sinfully. Hell suffices him. What an evil resting place.
Ooh, okay. Read the next verse too.
And among mankind is one who sells his soul, seeking God's good pleasure, and God is kind unto his servants.
Yeah, so it seems like these passages for now that we've been going over today describes different types of people, and their relationship to God, or what their perceived relationship to God, right? So yeah, when it said, when it is said to him, be careful of thy duty to Allah, pride carries him off to sin, so hell is sufficient for him, and certainly evil is the resting place. So here, in verse 206 and in 76 other verses, the Quran, the Quran uses Ya'anam to refer to hell, a term related to the Hebrew Gehinnom, which is, of course, the valley of Hinnom, the valley of Ben Hinnom. So we've covered that a lot, but it eventually became Gehenna. It's kind of, part of that evolution of the afterlife. We have the Valley of Ben Hinnom, where sacrifices would be made, sometimes human sacrifices.
Yeah, it's a literal
And that-
location,
yeah.
which thereafter became referred to as like this legendary mythical location.
Right, and then eventually was thought to just be a mythical location.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of,
And now it's just myth.
yeah.
We don't even have the
so
location.
eventually, like that, the idea of Sheol and just the underworld kind of got mixed with the fires of the Valley of Ben Hinnom or Gehenna, and eventually we get this this kind of modern hell and afterlife. So this is part of that tradition.
Yeah, I think it's more interesting, though, this selling his soul concept, which shows up in the last verse that I read. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the second caliph, commented on this verse, describing the one who sells his soul as a man who sets out to enjoin right and forbid wrong.
Yeah,
and is
such men were
slain.
its pillars, were Islam's pillars.
Mhm. So, in this sense, sells his soul can also mean sells his life, since nafs can also mean life in addition to soul or self.
Yeah, so this is looking like a complete devotee, someone who is
Or a martyr.
or a martyr. Yeah, just someone who entirely gives up their life, and sometimes very literally give up their life, as in die, for the faith.
Yes.
Those are the two. Are those the two types of people? Or are there going to be more?
O you who believe, enter into peace altogether, and follow not the footsteps of Satan. Truly, he is manifest enemy unto you.
Sure. Yeah.
Satan's a bad guy. And should you stumble after the clear proofs have come to you, then know that God is mighty, wise.
Yeah, when it says there but if you slip after clear arguments have come to you, or yours says proof, then you know that Allah is mighty, wise. So just trying to look at what is that? That's
The
verse
clear
2 and
proofs
9.
can refer to the Prophet, the Quran, Islam, all of them, etc.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess if they accept those things as proofs, I suppose.
Do they wait for naught less than that God should come in the shadow of clouds with the angels, and that the matter should have been decreed? And unto God are all matters returned.
Yeah. So they wait for naught, but that Allah should come to them in the shadows of the clouds. So this is like, is this an eschatological view? Like, is this like, oh, are you waiting? What are you waiting for until the end times or something?
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Some
the end
say
times.
that it means that the judgment or command of God should come, indicating that what God has promised or threatened will come. For some, this verse refers to the angels who come at the moment of death, while others interpret it as a description of events in the day of resurrection.
Hold on. April saying that YouTube has kicked her off the stream.
Twice.
Are you Yeah, twice. Are you watching this on an app, on like the phone app, or are you watching this on a browser?
I just keep seeing it flicker every once in a while. Like I don't know if it's us or them. Apparently, YouTube's having issues because it's not us. We're not doing anything wrong.
On the phone app. Interesting. Okay, I know I was having an issue the other day with this was a couple days ago with YouTube with the phone app, where I would be watching it and then it would just kind of close out, like the app was crashing that day. It hasn't crashed since then, but it was crashing at that point.
See, I had an issue with the phone app where the thumbnails weren't popping up at all. They just weren't loading.
Oh,
So-
sure, I've said that one.
But
Very
you know
happy to
how
have
on the app the
stopped
thumbnails
using
are like
YouTube.
huge and the title's like tiny.
Yes.
So it was like a huge blank space
Right.
and then a tiny title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
awful.
Yeah. So it looks like I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a YouTube issue, especially with the app.
Now, isn't Google
Looks
one
like,
of the
Ryan and
wealthiest
Chrissy
and
had issues,
largest companies on the planet?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but they're running out of space to save videos.
oh yeah, they can't buy more.
I have no idea.
I guess not.
They could invent more.
They should.
Yeah. They have
They're
enough money to
supposed
invent more, yeah.
innovate.
You know, if they don't know how to invent more, they should watch a YouTube video on how to invent more.
Wow. Yeah. Good
And they
point. There's
shouldn't
a lot
be
of
evil.
those.
Actually, though.
Anyways, let's continue on. Where was I?
Yeah. The whole like, because to me this seemed like waiting till the end times is
Mhm.
the idea there.
It is slowly getting better. Our connection. Anyways.
Slowly getting
Yeah.
better.
Oh no, I shouldn't talk.
Oh,
You
it's
keep
not
jinxing it.
getting better.
It was fine for a second.
You just keep jinxing it.
They should start deleting flat Earth content. Absolutely.
Wait, does that mean getting rid of the video I made on it?
Yeah.
Yours can
It,
stay.
it has like the little flat Earth like
Who cares? Let's
Wikipedia
continue
link
reading.
under it.
Well, you made it very clear at the beginning of the video that
You're right.
the Earth is not flat.
Yes, I did. But at the same time, it still has like the little marker on it.
Mhm.
I mean, if it were up to April, she'd probably get rid of it.
Yeah.
Just something she would do.
Ask the children of Israel how many clear proofs we gave them. And whosoever alters the blessing of God after it has come to him, truly God is severe in retribution.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the whole like confirming your scriptures thing.
Mm-hmm.
And also don't change them. Provision in Deuteronomy, right?
Mm-hmm. The life of this world is made to seem fair unto those who disbelieve, and they ridicule those who believe. But those who are reverent shall be above them on the day of resurrection, and God provides for whomsoever he will without reckoning. Mankind was one community. Then God sent the prophets as bearers of glad tidings and as warners, and with them he sent down the book in truth to judge among mankind concerning that wherein they differed. And only they who were given it differed concerning it after clear proofs came to them. out of envy among themselves. Then God guided those who believed to truth of that wherein they differed by his leave. And God guides whomsoever he will unto a straight path.
So quite a bit to talk about in this verse. So when it says there that mankind was a single community, it does seem like later in the Quran we're going to have more references to this in the division of mankind. Or it says, as a community or as a nation is another translation. But the commentary in Muhammad Ali's version says the word kana does not necessarily refer to the past, but is often used in the Quran to convey the idea of a general truth or to express what is like an attribute of a thing. So like kan al insanu kafuran does not mean man was ungrateful, but man is ever ungrateful. So that the quality of ungratefulness is met with in him very frequently. Let's see. Similarly, divine attributes are often expressed by the use of kana. He gives a few examples. Let's see. The oneness of humanity is a truth on which the Quran lays the greatest stress. They are sometimes told that they have been created of a single being. That's in Surah 4. Again, that they are all descended from the same parents in 49. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff about, how they were how they're supposed to be one. Where it says there that, although it is interesting that one has a present tense and one has a past tense here, but I'm guessing this is just the whole expression of the state of it. So, where they're meant to be a single nation, and they were at one point all together. And eventually he would have revealed these, when it says the book there. I think we've talked about that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
About the book, that it wasn't necessarily the book, but it was just the original prophecies.
Yeah. Well, here, mankind being one community for some relates to the period between Adam and Noah. Al-Tabari states that the exact dates are not significant or the meaning of the verse.
You'd figure it'd be, related to the Tower of Babel.
Maybe.
I mean, you just think, right? Because at that point, that's when he spread them out. But yeah, I guess I don't know if the Tower of Babel. It doesn't
another
seem like it explicitly
interpretation attributes this oneness to the person of Adam. Meaning that humanity began as one individual, but then became many.
Okay, fine, I guess.
But since the usage of community referring to a single person is found in 16:120, truly Abraham was a community. Others understand one community as an allusion to the pretemporal covenant all human beings made with God, described in 7:172.
I feel like this single community or the single nation cannot be just Adam, because it wouldn't make sense of the very next lines, right? So I'll raise prophets as bearers of good news and as warners. That wouldn't work just after the Adam thing. So if everyone was together, many people, and then Allah raised these people to them, that would make far more sense.
No, unfortunately, Adam is an amalgamation of all people before they were separated into many individuals. That's what they mean.
Oh,
a primordial ooze monster.
Okay, I was thinking more damn.
Like a Tanshir?
No, what is the
thousand heads, thousand
I know.
arms.
But in do they? Is there a name for when all the Transformers get together and they're one?
Oh God, they all get together?
Do they?
Or am I thinking
of the one Power Rangers
or something? Yeah, like the Power Rangers. When
how they all go together? Yeah,
things combine.
It's like a mech transformation thing,
something like that. Yeah, is it more like that? Is that what you're describing?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, like somebody's arm turned into a person. Adam's arm turned into a person or something eventually.
Yeah,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That makes way more
Great.
sense, yeah.
Glad we understand that. A Mechazord? Yes. Yes, that's
Oh, is that what that is? Okay, thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
Megazord.
Yes, that's exactly what the image I think Chris is trying to get across. Yes.
Mhm.
sure.
Okay.
Not an abomination at all or anything.
No. Adam's like he's got to be super cool.
He's got something going on.
Yeah.
Or did you suppose that you would enter the garden without there having come to you the like of that which came to those who passed away before you? Misfortune and hardship befell them, and they were so shaken that the messenger and those who believed with him said, when will God's help come? Yea, surely God's help is near.
So essentially, because like you can't reach paradise again because no one has risen up as good as those guys that had been raised before. So I guess they haven't earned it.
That's unfortunate.
Well, you know what? In Muhammad's mind, he's got that covered.
Mhm. They ask thee what they should spend. Say, let whatever of your wealth you spend be for parents, kinsfolk, orphans, the indigent, and the traveler. Whatever good you do, truly, God knows it.
Yeah, that's classic
Yes,
almsgiving.
that is classic almsgiving.
Yeah, but also, yeah, parents, relatives. Yeah.
It's said that this verse was revealed prior to the institution of the formal alms, and thus refers to ordinary charitable giving.
I mean, yeah, that's what it seems like. Pretty ordinary stuff.
Mhm. Fighting has been prescribed for you, though it is hateful to you. But it may be that you hate a thing, though it be good for you. And it may be that you love a thing, though it be evil for you.
See.
God knows, and you know not.
That's
Yeah, I guess.
funny, actually. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Just some random. Sometimes you have to be at war.
Yeah, God knows.
You don't know.
You
don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Can we just keep that last part? That's a good one.
You don't know.
You don't know.
They ask thee about the sacred month.
Hold on. I do have some interesting. A few interesting things to say.
All right.
So, he goes on for a while about this. So I'm not sure how much of this I'm going to read, but he says, let those ponder who think that the Muslims fought for plunder. They were too weak to carry on the struggle against the mighty forces that were bent upon their destruction, and they disliked war. Only a diseased brain could come to the conclusion that the Prophet, quote, had now determined to resort to the sword to accomplish what his preaching had failed to do. This seems like I'm reading from like an actual holy text. I'm not. This is this guy rambling.
Ugh.
Like he's going on a rant about this. Like he's like, lest you guys think that people that Muslims are angry. Like, yeah, to put it in context. Like he's kind of like throughout this whole commentary, this person has been, I would say, pretty fair on a lot of things. And
Except
and now he's becoming like you see the like I'm not even like I didn't even have that many.
extremely apologetic.
Yeah, I didn't even have that many issues with like the verse by itself, right? Because I felt like I understood what they were saying, but he's like adamantly like jumping to the defense of it immediately. So I wonder how often this comes up.
Every day for
I
him.
mean, it must be, yeah. Where were the military forces with which the Prophet was going to convert the proud and warring Arabs who had not listened to his word? His first army at Badr, when the Quraysh at Mecca were marching upon Medina with 1,000 of their most experienced warriors, was 313, including boys of 13 years of age. Could any sensible man say that the Prophet was now going to convert the hundreds of thousands of Arab warriors with his 313 unequipped and inexperienced followers? Oh boy, yeah. It goes on like that for a bit more.
Well, hold on, because you're about to hear something very interesting.
Okay,
Lawrence.
great.
They ask thee about the sacred month. What's the sacred month, Lawrence?
Oh, that'd be Ramadan. Is that it? Is that the same month that happens in?
Most likely.
But what was it before? I think we had it
OBS
listed
is not
before, right?
Responding.
What?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Oh, no data.
We'll,
Don't have any
we'll wait for a
data.
second.
It just happened right now.
That is quite frustrating.
Oh, it's back.
It's back. Are we
Oh.
back?
We've returned.
Maybe for a little bit.
It'll fix itself. I have no idea what happened, but I did tell you when it happened.
You did.
Well, it says we have an excellent connection.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. Now it says that we are.
Error. YouTube is stupid, and it will figure it out in a second. Okay.
Oh no.
This is weird.
Viewers, tell us when.
Here, can you type something in the chat, Chris?
Mhm.
You have sound. You have sound,
You're
but
back.
not video.
Yeah, we're back.
You're back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're back.
Interesting.
You hear us, but it's frozen.
Now we're back. Okay. Looks like we're fully back.
There we go. We have returned.
Okay. Sorry about that. I have no idea what caused that.
Mhm.
Looks like it just kind of happened.
It was a curse.
It must have been a curse.
Yep.
Maybe that was
Jinn.
the warring they were talking about.
Yep, it's from
Or maybe I
Jinn.
gave the wrong answer to the holy month.
Oh,
Mm.
maybe.
So yeah, when it comes to the whole, I feel like we mentioned like the actual name of the holy month before, right? But I do not remember it because it was given in
No.
it was the Arabic month name.
Yeah, unfortunately. They
But we
asked,
were given it in I think last week.
Yeah, they asked thee about the sacred month. So very important and holy month, right? About fighting therein. Say, fighting therein is grave, but turning others from the way of God and disbelieving in him and from the sacred mosque and expelling its people is graver in the sight of God.
Yeah.
Strife is graver than slaying.
The intolerance and persecution of the pagan clique at Mecca caused untold hardships to the holy messenger of Islam and his early disciples. They bore all with meekness and long-suffering patience with the Holy One until the Holy One permitted them to take up arms in self-defense. So it seems like, in context, here's what it would be like, right? So you have this community that feels like they have been oppressed and they've been apparently being kicked out of places. So now they're like, he's saying like, okay, listen, I understand. Like the holy month is holy, so you don't want to like hurt anyone in the holy month, of course.
But if you meet someone who doesn't believe in God,
Well, no, I think if we are talking about the context here, then it would be improper to take it out of its context. Now they do say that it is, of course, if you just take it by itself, yeah, obviously it's it would be like, hey, if you meet an unbeliever or something, but it seems like this is, if we are to take this as coming from the period where they are trying to go worship but are being forced out of the place, then you could say that it's only for like that's only if there are unbelievers trying to get you to unbelieve or something like that. So
yeah, it said that this verse was revealed in connection with a companion, Abd Allah ibn al-Jash, who led a scouting mission against the Quraysh a year and a half after the migration from Mecca to Medina, but before the Battle of Badr.
okay. So yeah, if we are taking a warlike context for this, then there would probably be some prerequisites. But like, yeah, on its own, yeah, absolutely. Like you could totally be like, hey, well, look at that.
It's very situational, and it's unclear, really. I mean, we're projecting a lot
I think here's
onto
why.
the text that isn't necessarily there.
I think here's why. Because it says like, so it's graver. The denial thing's in there. It's graver to in the sight of God to prevent access to the path of God, to prevent access to the sacred mosque and drive out its members. So there are references there to specifically being not being allowed to worship in the mosque. So I could totally see that as the context for something like this.
This one translates it differently.
Sure, yeah. Yours does a little different order.
Turning others from the way of God.
Yeah.
Which is very different.
Oh, that is
than
different, yeah.
Preventing someone.
So so let's take a look at this, because this translation does feel kind of archaic sometimes. Let's take a look at Gabriel Said Reynolds. He has a pretty good one.
Let me check this other one too.
So yeah, they say it is an outrageous thing to fight in it, but to keep people from God's way and to be unfaithful to him and to keep people from the holy mosque and to expel its people from it are more outrageous with God.
See, this one, the Quran
So to
Project
keep people
says,
from God's way.
but preventing people from the way of God. So it seems like this is like intentionally
This is weirdly
stopping someone, like
stopping
you're-
someone who's trying to
but
practice.
it doesn't mean like discouraging them from doing so. Like you're actually taking action to prevent them from doing so.
Yeah, because like all these things, all the other things are pretty physical, right? So,
Yes.
yeah, it is interesting though how this like it could either be because this does seem in in all these it seems the people who are unbelievers are just included in that. But I guess that would be the unbelievers that are pushing them out.
Yeah. Here, if it's during wartime, the Quraysh.
Okay.
And they will not cease to fight you until they make you renounce your religion if they are able. Whosoever among you renounces a religion and dies as a disbeliever, their deeds have come to naught in this world and the hereafter, and they are the inhabitants of the fire, abiding therein.
Well, I mean, that's pretty clear. So if at some point you turn away from it,
And you die as a non-believer.
yeah, then you're doomed. Yeah, that's I don't see really any kind of other interpretation you can get out of that.
Yep, truly. Those who believe and those who emigrate and strive in the way of God, it is they who hope for the mercy of God, and God is forgiving, merciful. They ask...
Unless you're a non-believer, in which case
yeah,
he is not actually.
No, definitely not.
No, but
He's
hey, you know what?
forgiving and
Bible says the
merciful.
same thing about that
Yeah.
one, though, right?
Apparently.
Blasphemy against the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. No, that's unforgivable.
Right. Yeah.
They ask thee about wine and gambling. Say, in them there is great sin and some benefits for mankind, but their sin is greater than their benefit. They ask thee about what they should spend. Say, what can be spared? Thus does God make clear unto you the signs that haply you may reflect.
So, yeah, you just finished a 219, right? Yeah. So they ask about about intoxicants and games of chance.
Which are
so-
obviously banned in Islam.
Right. Yeah. So alcohol, yeah, no one can drink it. And when it comes to games of, this is any kind of well, this is where it would get philosophically more interesting, right? Because now I'm guessing that this would have to be, would this be any game that includes chance? Because it can't be, right? Because like, let's say you and I are like, because I play cards with the Muslims at work all the time.
They shouldn't do that.
With risk.
With risk. So it'd have to be like if you,
You know,
Well, it
gamble
doesn't
your whole house.
specify that. It just
says can't play games of chance.
Games of chance. That could be like heads or tails.
Right. Yeah. That's a game of chance, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a game of chance.
Yeah.
And is that banned?
And
Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah. But it says, but it also says here specifically, they ask you concerning wine and gambling, which is different. So There are a couple. Let's see the notes here. The original word is maisir.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Yes, gambling renders maisir, which literally denotes one type of gambling.
Oh, okay.
Gambling more generally is known as kimar. In maisir, people draw arrows over meat, akin to drawing straws. The loser has to pay for the meat without getting any.
It's like
and
casting
is
lots.
chided and ribbed, while the winners give their
Ribbed. You
portions
got
to
ribbed.
the poor in a demonstration of generosity.
It's interesting though. Here it says here, maisir was a game of hazard with the Arabs, and in the legal language of Islam, includes all games of chance.
Huh. Wow.
Is the commentary I have here?
That's
Quite the disagreement.
yeah.
So is it a
Quite
s-
the disagreement.
So is it a specific? Okay.
In Islamic law, generally gambling in the form of wagering is forbidden, while playing games such as chess and backgammon as an idle pastime is frowned upon by many as a spiritual distraction, usually without being forbidden outright. Both games, in fact, came to the West from the Islamic world, not being forbidden in the technical legal sense. Both are popular among Muslims, even devout ones.
Let's see what some. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's see here. Masir, literally a means of getting something too easily, getting a profit without working for it. Hence, gambling. So they specifically go for gambling. That is the principle on which gambling is prohibited. The form most familiar to the Arabs was gambling by casting lots by means of arrows. Yeah, you just said. And then let's see. There's quite a bit of commentary on this. And then Gabriel Said Reynolds, Qurai renders here Arabic mesir as gambling. It is traditionally identified with as a specific game of chance played with arrows. However, in all three cases where this term appears in the Quran, which let's see, including at 590 through 91, which traditionally is seen as abrogating to 219, that might be why, is it appears immediately after wine. While it is possible that the Quran means to deal with wine and gambling together, although note that the Arabic word translated as profits, manafi, means rather advantages. It is possible that this entire phrase refers to alcohol. The expression al-kamar and al-maisir may reflect an expression in the Aramaic translation Targum Onkelos of Leviticus 10:9. You drink marave. Sorry, I totally skipped the line. You together with your sons should not drink any wine, hamar, or any intoxicating drink, marave. Maisir, however, is not cognate to marave. For a different perspective, see the comments of Zelentin. Okay, yeah, in Quran's legal culture. So that is interesting, though, how if there's another passage which is seen as abrogating this one, that might have totally changed. Even though it pops up with wine all the time in all these cases, this is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the more interesting things that's popped up in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
At least when it comes to rabbit holes I can go down.
Yes. Thus does God make clear unto the signs that haply you may reflect upon this world and the hereafter. And they ask thee about orphans. Say, setting matters aright for them is best, and if you intermingle with them, they are your brothers. And God knows the one who works corruption from one who sets aright. And had God willed, he would have put you to hardship. Truly, God is mighty, wise. But doesn't that just imply that he willed to put the orphans to hardship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Pretty clear, actually.
Well, they were made for that.
Mhm.
They were made to have a hard time.
So, yeah, the orphans are made to have a hard time, to be there to remind you that God could make you have a hard time.
I think, didn't we come up, didn't we read through some stuff that I think it was in something something Gnostic, I feel,
Hmm.
that had the same idea.
I'm not sure. I don't recall.
I feel like it did, but I could totally be wrong.
Maybe. But that's
Oh,
Hello?
uh
I
Are we-
didn't do anything.
what happened.
It still says we're
Refresh
going.
the page.
Are we still going? Are we still on?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because our
Refresh the
thing
page.
paused for some reason. Ended abruptly. Yeah. What the hell?
Is OBS alright?
Okay. Are we back?
It says we're live.
What is that?
now.
This has got to be YouTube, right?
What?
This has got to be YouTube.
This is definitely YouTube, and it might have.
Hi,
broken this
April.
up
Hello.
into 2 videos.
Okay,
What
we're
the
still going.
hell
No,
happened?
so we're still. I think we're still. This should be one video, right? Because the timer.
It doesn't
is at
seem
45.
like it here anymore.
Oh, never
No.
mind.
Nope.
And also, what happened at the 45-minute mark exactly? Did they change a policy now?
Yeah, that's definitely YouTube. So, wow, that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, couldn't be right. Let's
How much
see.
more do we have?
Hey,
A
YouTube.
decent chunk.
Stop fucking up.
Yeah, seriously, stop fucking up, YouTube. Or wait, hold on. Oh, did we say that too soon? Because I think sometimes you have to wait to say the F word.
Yep.
Shit.
Yeah.
Now we're screwed.
Oh, it says we're at 45 minutes on there.
And as I am refreshing this, it seems like at least the YouTube studio, it seems like there is no like new video that's popped up.
All right.
So
well,
it seems
let's
like this is still
continue.
part of it.
Good. So we're still in one thing, but where were we?
You know what? Well, we talked about gambling, right? I think you finished 219. No, you finished 220. Did you? Did you finish 220?
I was talking about orphans.
Right, you're talking
right?
about orphans, yeah.
We're talking about orphans.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Before YouTube fucks up again, if you're watching, drop a like
Yeah.
before
That
YouTube
way
fucks up again.
YouTube will stop fucking up.
Yeah, definitely the same video. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Good. So you're supposed to do good stuff for orphans, but they're there to remind you that bad
Things suck.
things
Yeah.
happen. So if you're an orphan, that means you have objective meaning in life.
I know. That's funny, but I
terrifying, man.
know where I heard this. This was the George Carlin joke
Oh.
about the class, different classes.
Mhm.
So like the rich, they have all the money, do none of the work or pay none of the taxes. The middle class does all the work. What was it?
Pays all the taxes.
Pays all the taxes, right? And the upper class does none of the taxes, yeah. And then the poor there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. That was the bit. So they included a George Carlin bit in here, or maybe Carlin stole it from the Quran.
Okay.
Or they have similar thinking. Who knows?
Maybe.
Let's talk about intermarriage for a second.
Oh, no.
Marry not idolatresses until they believe. Truly, a believing slave woman is better than an idolatress, though she be pleasing to you. And marry none to the idolaters until they believe. Truly, a believing slave is better than an idolater, though he should impress you. They are those who call unto the fire, but God calls unto the garden and forgiveness by his leave, and makes clear his signs to mankind, that haply they may remember.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Yep,
Damn idolaters.
pretty clear. Anyways, I'm going to hand it off to you because we're
All
at
right.
about the halfway mark for the verses of the day.
Sounds good.
And you get a pretty fun one.
Looks like it's on divorce.
Mm,
At least that's the section heading.
it's
Is
on
divorce.
222.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna read from Sade Reynolds.
Mhm.
They ask you concerning intercourse during menses. They ask the in other translation they ask the about menstruation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's different. It looks like the hold on, where is it? Just as oh my god, what this commentary? Just as war made Yeah, just as war made many children orphans, it made many women widows. But questions relating to widowhood and divorce being somewhat questions relating to widowhood and divorce being somewhat analogous. The two questions are treated together in this section, and the two that follow. Great. So the one difference here between these translations, they talk about they ask the about menstruation, which is different than asking about intercourse during
Look,
menstruation. So that's just a translation.
Translates it as they ask the concerning menstruation.
Okay.
And the commentary says this verse is understood to prohibit vaginal intercourse during menstruation without prohibiting other contact.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, let's continue reading. Let's see. They ask you concerning intercourse during menses. Say it is hurtful. So keep away from wives during the menses, and do not approach them till they are clean. And when they become clean, go into them as God has commanded you. God indeed loves the penitent, and he loves those who keep clean. Well, this makes God sound way, way creepier.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be entirely fair here.
Now, you just read the next verse.
Okay, sure. Let's see. Oh my God. Your women are a tillage for you. So come to your tillage whenever you like, and send ahead for your souls. Send ahead for your souls, and be God-wary, and know that you will encounter him, and give good news to the faithful.
Yep. So this is seen by some as giving permission for any kind of vaginal intercourse. The symbolism of tilth referring to procreation.
Yeah, let's see here. So go into your tilth whenever you like. See, that seems that gives me the ick. It says here that ana means either mata, i.e. when or how, as the previous verse prohibits certain relations when the woman has her courses on. This one states that keeping that prohibition in view, a man may go into his wife when he likes and as he likes. So,
yeah, she doesn't need to give permission or anything.
Oh, great.
Some creepiness going on. I guess I'm gonna continue on. And it seems like even the commentaries are just like, yeah, that's what it means.
Okay.
There are
no apologetic there. They're just like into it like that. That's what they approve of.
That was 223, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Sex is not a thing to be ashamed of, or to be treated lightly, or to be indulged to excess. I agree, it should just be in excess. Or I disagree, it should be in excess. It is as solemn a fact as any in life. It is compared to a husbandman's tilth. It is a serious affair to him. He sows the seeds in order to reap the harvest. Yeah, this is just some archaic stuff.
Yes, April, that is the interpretation.
That is the interpretation here. I would hope that they do not act on these things and just go like, well, at least the majority of them, I'd hope.
Who knows what they do?
Yeah.
Who knows if they even read the
uncomfortable.
Quran?
So, well, I mean, I'm sure they do love actually reading it.
Mm-hmm.
They actually do read their holy book.
Oh, good.
Can't complain like we can with the Christians on that one.
Right, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Had that conversation before the show, yeah.
Let's see. Do not make God an obstacle through your oaths to being pious and God-wary, and to bringing about concord between people. And God is all-hearing, all-knowing. God will not take you to task for what is unconsidered in your oaths, but he will take you to task for what your hearts have incurred. And God is all forgiving, all forbearing. Oh, shit. These, and all forbearing. Ugh.
What
I
have you
like that.
done,
I don't know.
Lawrence?
I don't know.
The Picard
Well,
voice.
don't worry because
joke.
God's forgiving.
So it looks like when it says that you will only be brought to task on what you, I guess, yeah, if this is an oath, right, then you're only going to be held responsible for what you say in the oath. That makes
It's
sense?
not going to hold it against you what you didn't say in the oath.
Sure, yeah.
No, my oath is too stupid to remember that.
I don't know about that. I've met your oath.
Oath.
Yeah, I've met your oath.
OPA.
I swore that I would never kill Lawrence, but I never swore that I wouldn't obliterate Lawrence.
That is true. Anyways, so verse 226. For those who forswear their wives, there shall be who forswear. Man, some of these, like even more modern translations.
The blotch of Egypt. Or do you mean the
You know what? Just let it.
his tattoo?
Just
The mark of Cain?
well, no, he was saying some stuff beforehand,
Oh, jeez.
Whatever.
so maybe he's referring to something else.
Oh, no.
But either way, thanks for being here, Wesley.
Yeah,
uh,
thanks. $32,000.
Impressive. I'm gonna continue reading.
We'll take it.
So yeah, for those who forswear their wives, there shall be a waiting period of 4 months. And if they recant, God is indeed all forgiving, all merciful. But if they resolve on divorce, I see. Okay. God is indeed all hearing, all knowing. Divorced women shall wait by themselves for 3 periods of purity after menses, so 3 months. And it is not lawful for them to conceal what God has created in their wombs if they believe in God and the last day. And their husbands have a greater right to restore them during this duration if they desire reconcilement. The wives have rights similar to the obligations upon them in accordance with honorable norms, and men have a degree above them, and God is almighty and all-wise. So, let's unpack that. That was...
Men have a degree above them.
Yeah, so let's see. Those who swear that they will not go into their wives. That was the understanding of 226 there. Let's take a look at this commentary. So Ilah signifies an oath that one shall not go into one's own wife. In the days of ignorance, the Arabs used to take such oaths frequently, and as the period of suspension was not limited, the wife was compelled sometimes to pass her whole life in bondage, having neither the position of a wife nor that of a divorced woman free to marry elsewhere. The
Yes.
Quran declares that if the husband does not reassert conjugal relations within 4 months, the wife shall be divorced. Okay.
Though some commentators understand that the degree over them consists of men's economic advantage, or qualities such as strength or intelligence.
Of course.
Strength to lack.
Yeah, there are a few things here. Let's see. I'm just trying to find some of the important ones. So when it says there, and if they resolve on a divorce, Allah is surely hearing and knowing. Let's see. Talak is an infinitive noun from talakat, said of a woman, meaning she was left free to go her way or become separated from her husband, and signifies the dissolving of a marriage, a divorce. The subject of divorce, which is introduced here, is dealt with in this and the following 2 sections. Divorce is one of the institutions of Islam regarding much misconception. regarding which much misconception prevails. So much so that even the Islamic view as administered in the courts is not free from from these misconceptions. The chief features of the Islamic law of divorce as dealt with in the Holy Quran are discussed, in these verses. Yeah, and I think I have a couple more verses for it. The procedure is laid down in Surah 4, while further questions are dealt with in Surahs 33 and 65. The Islamic law has many points of advantage as compared with both the Jewish and Christian laws as formulated in Deuteronomy and Matthew. The chief feature of improvement is that the wife can claim a divorce according to the Islamic law, unless the husband, decides not to, right? He has the choice ultimately.
Oh, well, yeah.
If he decides to...
there's a lot of divorce rules that we're about to get into.
I see, okay.
But in the main types of divorce called a cool divorce...
We're about an hour, by the way.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
We're not close to done. Type of cool divorce, the wife initiates the divorce and can give a ransom as part of obtaining the divorce. That is to say, a wife's property becomes material to the cool divorce procedure, while the man can divorce without any transfer of wealth.
Okay.
Which is the inverse of the procedure of marriage, where a wife collects a bride wealth from her husband as part of the marriage contract, but has no financial responsibility within the marriage. Put another way, a man negotiates his way into a marriage through the bride wealth, and a woman can negotiate her way out of a marriage through the cool divorce process.
Okay, so it does give them a way out by themselves.
Yeah, but so when you enter into a marriage, the woman is given basically a down payment.
Right, yeah.
And she can thereafter presumably return the same amount of down payment in order to divorce.
Yeah, to nullify that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the but the thing is, before when it says that the men, or was it if the men wanted to reconcile or something? I know it says the women have similar rights against them, but then before that, a divorced woman shall. It looks like they need a certain period of time to wait on it, so it's not like it would be right away.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they do have a way out, but
I will return momentarily while you read the Quran.
Okay, I can do that. So on to verse. Actually, hold on. Just a note here. As Geiger notes, the notion of waiting 3 months before marriage has a basis in the Talmud. Interesting. Either way, hopping to the next verse here. So this is 229 that we're at. I know. So 229 that we're at. Revocable divorce, and he has revocable in quotes there. Divorce may be only twice. Then let there be either an honorable retention or a kindly release. It is not lawful for you to take back anything from what you have given them, unless the couple fear that they may not maintain God's bounds. But if you fear they would not maintain God's bounds, there is no sin upon them in what she may give to secure her own release. There are God's bounds, so do not transgress them. And whoever transgresses the bounds of God, it is they who are the wrongdoers. So, this I think is covered by mostly the stuff that Ruben went over, but it does seem like there are let's see here. Yeah, this is the payment stuff that Ruben has already covered. The translation here is a divorce may be pronounced twice. Then keep them in good fellowship or let them go with kindness. So yeah, the divorce spoken of here is the revocable divorce of the verse we just went over, after which a reconciliation may be effected in the waiting period. In the days of ignorance, I like how they always call those days the days of ignorance. A man used to divorce his wife and take her back within the prescribed time, even though he might do this 1,000 times. Islam reformed this practice by allowing a revocable divorce on 2 occasions only, so that the period of waiting in each of these 2 cases might serve as a period of temporary separation during which conjugal relations could be reestablished. Let's see, the husband must make his choice after the second divorce, either to retain the wife permanently or to bring about a final separation. So she has but it seems like in this one, she has a choice, but then it goes on to say,
3 strikes, you're out.
yeah, the full payment of the dowry to the woman is another condition relating to the Islamic law of divorce, and it serves as a very strong check upon the husband in resorting to unnecessary divorce. Yeah, because that would be the reason. A lot of the stuff you covered, but looks like it's coming from a different perspective.
Yes. Which is different from the Jewish divorce proceedings.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Continuing on here with 230. And if he divorces her, she will not be lawful. She will not be lawful for him thereafter until she marries a husband other than him. Then if he divorces her, there is no sin upon them to remarry if they think that they can maintain God's bounds. These are God's bounds, which he clarifies for the people who have knowledge. On the biblical connection with the expression God's bounds, see the commentary on faith. Okay, I'll see a later commentary.
Okay, so basically what it comes down to is there has to be a marriage in between the divorce for the woman before, and then she has to divorce that guy before she can come back to the original guy.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I'm surprised they're getting into such fine minutia.
Yeah, right. I mean, we have stuff like this, in the biblical text.
At least it's not Knops.
Right. You know what? You're right. It's not Knops. Those things
or
suck.
any of the genealogies. Any. Oh.
Yeah, that is true. First Chronicles is just the worst thing.
I think this was a better edited book. I can say that.
Yeah, like now after like all the stuff where they, because they were talking about like the story of Moses and they mentioned Jesus, right? That seemed all so disconnected, but now it's like it's now at least more coherent, right? So that is nice. So on to 231. When you divorce women and they complete their term of waiting, then either retain them honorably or release them honorably, and do not retain them maliciously in order that you may transgress. And whoever does that certainly wrongs himself. So it does look like there is some limit on what they can do, or at least on why. Do not take the signs of God in derision, and remember God's blessing upon you and what he has sent down to you of the book and wisdom to advise you therewith.
What kind of limits are there? Like it says earlier that you can go unto your wife whenever you want.
Right, but now it's saying
unless she's menstruating, don't do that. In fact, don't go near her.
Right, yeah.
Right, so then that's the limit.
That is a limit.
Keep going until then.
But then there are God's limits. But then there's also if she wants to get a divorce, you can't stop her from getting a divorce if the reason you want to get a divorce is like something malicious, or it's at least a command not to do that. But you are weirdly allowed to. I don't know. It is weird on what you can and can't do here. If we take both those verses. So I'm not entirely certain. Like either this could be like I guess what counts as transgressions in this case.
Who knows?
Like there are things that you and I would say are transgressions, but maybe they're thinking of entirely different things.
Well, things that you and I would think is transgressions are perfectly acceptable within Islam.
Yeah, many of them.
Let's see here. That's 231. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, 231. Yeah, when you divorce women and they reach their prescribed time, then retain them in kindness or set them free with kindness and retain them not for injury so that you exceed the limits. So, hence, if the husband is proved to give injury to the wife, he cannot retain her and she can claim a divorce. Injury to the wife may be of general nature or one given with the object of compelling her to remit the whole or part of her dowry to obtain a divorce. This practice was resorted to by the pre-Islamic Arabs, and the words are meant to abolish the evil.
Mhm. Why don't you continue with the verse?
Hold on here. The injunction relating to the kind treatment of women must not be taken lightly. We are told here, retaining women to cause them injury has already been declared as to be a transgression. So they say here that it's just any kind of injury.
Okay, so you can't physically injure, but what are the
Or you can't threaten to
boundaries?
injure them also.
Okay.
But still, there is some questions
So
that I
there
have.
is some boundary on speech as well,
Sure, yeah.
insofar as it involves threatening to injure.
Yeah, to stop the divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But all right. I'm going to continue on here. Yeah, be wary of God and know that God has knowledge of all things.
I forgot about that.
Oh, fuck. Come on, Chris. When you divorce women and they complete their term of waiting, do not hinder them from remarrying their husbands when they honorably reach mutual consent. Well, now consent matters here. Herewith are advised those of you who believe in God and the last day that will be more decent and pure for you, and God knows that you do not know.
Mm-hmm. It's said that this verse was revealed when a man balked at the idea of his sister, who was divorced and single, remarrying the man who had divorced her. This verse allows a
Fuck.
couple to remarry even after they've gone through a complete legal divorce, but not in the case of the third consecutive divorce by declaration. On the matter of remarrying after the third divorce declaration, we already went over that.
Oh, Matthew, do you not know about Wesley? I don't think Matthew knows about Wesley.
No.
Wesley is interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
How to talk to him?
If you're really curious, you can go to our our final episode of Atheist Sunday School.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
was
one where-
super long stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can go to that if you're really, really
I had
curious.
to pull him away just to pull him away.
Right,
Literally,
yeah. Yeah.
Take him to a separate
But
stream.
that was. You will quickly become familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley is quite the character.
When he has genuine conversation, he's not insane. It seems okay, but
Okay.
it's pretty rare.
I'm gonna get back to the reading. Mothers shall suckle their children for 2 full years. That for such as desire to complete the That for such as desire to complete the suckling, and on the father shall be their maintenance and clothing in accordance with honorable norms. No soul is to be tasked except according to its capacity. Neither the mother shall be made to suffer harm on her child's account, nor the father on account of his child. And on the father's heir devolve duties and rights similar to that. And if the couple desire to wean with mutual consent and consolation, there will be no sin upon them. And if you want to have your children wet nursed, there will be no sin upon them. No sin upon you, so long as you pay what you give in accordance with honorable norms, and be wary of God, and know that God watches what you do. So it seems like, I don't know if these things were. Let's see. The idea that a woman should suckle her children for 2 years has a basis in the Talmud. On the Quran's declaration, neither the mother shall be made to suffer harm or a child's account. See Deuteronomy 24:16. Parents may not be put to death for their children, nor children for their parents. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, eventually we get to original sin and all that.
This verse addresses the status of women who bear children from husbands who have divorced them, since feeding and clothing one's wife is an obligation of marriage in all cases.
Okay, so you have to do your duty in that position anyways.
Yeah, 2 full years is the maximum time period during which the father must provide material support to the nursing mother, although the parents can agree to a shorter period of nursing, as stated later in the verse, by their mutual consent and consultation. The mother can nurse for a shorter period, and the father cannot compel her to continue, but he must provide support if necessary for up to 2 years of nursing.
Okay.
That the father must provide for them and clothe them means that he must, according to his means, provide what he can. The verse acknowledges that not all fathers can provide equally, since one must do so honorably, meaning to an honorable or morally acceptable level, which is reinforced by the recognition that no soul is tasked beyond incapacity.
Right. Yeah.
That neither parent can be harmed on account of the child relates to either nursing or custody, or both. The mother is not to harm the father by refusing to nurse the child, or by trying to keep the father away. And similarly, the father is not to harm the mother by keeping her child from her and refusing to let her nurse the child when she wishes to do so.
So then it says that the duty goes to the father's heir here. That would be kind of weird if that child was the heir, right?
Several
here,
opinions are offered regarding the identity of the heir.
Yeah, in case the father dies before the child is weaned, the heir is bound to pay the expenses. Now that would make sense, but what if this child is the heir? That would be a problem.
Yeah, it's generally understood to refer to the heirs of the father who inherit a portion of the wealth upon which the nursing mother and child have a claim. Upon the father's death during the 2-year period, these heirs are responsible for the material support prescribed in the verse.
Sure, fair
Is
enough.
this like the plot to Annie or something? Or the one orphan movie? No.
I don't think I've seen that.
You
God,
haven't
it's a
seen
classic.
Annie?
You don't even have to see it to know what it's about.
Dude, I don't know.
It's culturally brought up a lot. Whatever.
You're probably right.
I've never seen it either.
Okay, well. All right, I'm going to continue on.
You know about Annie.
I know about the League of Legends character, Annie.
Oh, good God. That doesn't
You know
help.
the
Or maybe it does.
Maybe it
songs
does.
from Annie.
She kind of seems like
Literally,
an
they could have
orphan.
grabbed her from the musical and turned her into the character she is.
I could see that.
So she's probably an icon or pop culture reference in the first place.
That sounds believable.
Anyways, we'll just educate you later again, I guess. God
All
damn,
right.
man.
Gonna continue on though. As for those of you who die leaving wives, they shall wait by themselves 4 months and 10 days, and when they complete their term, there will be no sin upon you in respect of what they may do with themselves in accordance with honorable norms, and God is well aware of what you do. I guess.
I did open a soda, yes. And it was very loud. It was nowhere near the mic, but it echoed like mad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be that much commentary on this. There is no sin upon you in what you may hint in proposing to recently widowed women, or what you may secretly cherish within your hearts. God knows that you will be thinking of them, but do not make troth with them secretly unless you say honorable words, and do not resolve on a marriage tie until the prescribed term is complete. Know that God knows what is in your hearts, so beware of him, and know that God is all forgiving, all forbearing. That's what, 235?
Not much commentary there.
Yeah, not much at all. Wow. Okay.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, there is no sin upon you if you divorce women while you have not yet touched them or settled a dowry for them, yet provide for them. The well off according to his capacity, and the poorly off according to his capacity, with a sustenance that is honorable and obligation on the virtuous. So yeah, help anyways, even though you are. I feel like it would be easier to divorce, right? If you haven't consummated the marriage.
Well, because you won't have to provide for if there's no weaning situation.
Right, true. And if you, this is 237, and if you divorce them before you touch them and you have already settled a dowry for them, then pay them half of what you have settled, unless they forego it, or someone in whose hand is the marriage tie forgoes it. And to forego is near to God-wariness, so do not forget graciousness among yourselves. God indeed watches what you do. You know,
Stop it.
I know why they keep saying it. Because of like, oh, God's all knowing, like make sure you're doing this stuff right, you know, finger wag. I get that, but it's getting creepier and creepier at this
Right,
point.
I want to tell God, stop it.
Right.
Get some help.
Get some help. Demonstrate, yeah. Be watchful of your prayers, and especially the middle prayer, and stand in obedience to God. And you should fear a danger. And should you fear a danger, then pray on foot or mounted. And when you are safe, remember God as he taught you what you did not know.
So the middlemost prayer.
I'm guessing
in
this is the middle of the
238,
day one because you're supposed to have 5.
One or another of the 5 daily prayers, though some maintain that its identity is unknown. Others consider it to be a congregational Friday prayer, or the It prayer, or even the 5 prayers together.
Oh. How helpful. Why thank you.
That totally helps. All right.
It narrowed it down to 5 broad possibilities that aren't near each other.
Let's see. What was that? That was 238. Let's see.
And you're allowed to pray while walking. If you're fearful, then on foot or mounted.
Oh, here, this might explain it. So, wasat, or of which wasta is the comparative form, which I'm probably mispronouncing, means both middle and excellent. That probably explains quite a bit of the confusion. For
that
wasat
does.
refers sometimes to place and sometimes to degree. Wonderful. Al-wasta means the best or the most excellent prayer, not the middle prayer, because wusta is in the comparative degree, and the middle does not admit of comparison. In hadith, the later afternoon prayer, asr, is spoken of as al-salat al-wusta. This name may have been given to it because from the point of the businessman, it is the busiest part of the day, and hence he finds it the most difficult to find time for it. But there are several other suggestions regarding what is meant by it, and he goes into a few, and then some divine spirit stuff. Yeah, whatever. But that does explain some of that confusion.
Yes.
Can mean either middle or excellent. Okay.
It doesn't tell us an answer, but it does tell us why it's confusing.
That's helpful.
Guess you could work backwards
Technically.
a little. Turn it into a whole video. Go ahead.
So why don't you read verse 240?
Those of you who die leaving wives shall bequeath for their wives, providing for a year without turning them out. But if they leave, there is no sin upon you in respect of what they may do with themselves in accordance with honorable norms, and God is almighty, all-wise.
Okay. Some believe that this verse's ruling was abrogated by the waiting period of 4 months and 10 days described in verse 234.
Sure, yeah.
But others see no contradiction between the two, understanding the present verse to be affirming the option of a widow to receive up to 1 year of maintenance while living in her late husband's house. If she remarries before that, there's no blame on the heirs of the husband for stopping their support.
Yeah, there is nothing to show that this verse is abrogated by any other verse of the Quran. Neither verse 234 nor 412 contains anything contradicting this verse. Yeah. All right.
Others say that 412 abrogates through the inheritance shares, but this is seen as a right to reside and receive sustenance for a year with the option of leaving earlier. There's no necessary contradiction.
Okay, so this is this was a possible contradiction that some people said was abrogated, but then these guys are saying that no, it's not actually an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. For the divorced women there shall be a provision in accordance with honorable norms and obligation on the God-wary. Thus does God clarify his signs to you so that you may exercise your reason.
Yes. And that is our reading for the day. So,
Or in order that you may understand.
I don't get that.
yes.
No, we're done. I don't get it.
But either way, I mean,
happily you may understand.
yeah, most of these provisions, at least for divorce and stuff, were pretty clear.
Would you say that many of these were not completely unreasonable compared to some of the stuff in Christianity?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, I know there was some pretty normative stuff in Christianity too.
There was some stuff in here that was some way went beyond the stuff that we found in the Bible.
I would definitely say it's more pro-male.
It is more misogynistic.
There's the word.
Well, no, is it okay? So you also have like these options for divorce, right? That a woman can initiate.
Yes, but you know what? It seems like they're for procreation, more procreation. So she has the option to live in the house for a year, but really the whole goal is to go find a new husband.
Oh, okay. I see what you.
They're really accommodating, but only to help with
to find the new husband. Yeah.
To be a whatever. Oh, the stream's doing that again.
Oh, the stream's doing the thing again.
This has got to be YouTube.
Refresh the page.
This is ridiculous.
See if it's.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, it's got to be YouTube.
Itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely YouTube.
Okay.
All right, guys.
We are back. So
No, I don't think anything even happened aside from on our side. Actually, it might have happened on our side of the screen. But anyways,
there's about 46. So, 44 more verses left in Surah 2.
Yeah, Surah 2.
You think we can do that next time?
We can try. We went through about 40 verses today, right?
Yeah, a little less.
Yeah, just a little less.
Yeah, definitely YouTube.
Yeah, I think next time.
God, I hope it's better next time.
Me too.
Next
160,000 frames dropped, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what it means, but I've never seen that many before.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Wow. So, yeah, next time we're going to finish Surah 2.
Yep.
And I guess we'll go over our thoughts then overall.
Right, yeah. So but so far it seems like in some ways this it's worse, and in some ways, I should say it's more explicit, because I think in the Bible some of this stuff was probably assumed but not explicit. But then they also give some options for women that they probably didn't have in biblical times, but I'm not sure.
Because if I remember correctly, the divorce stuff is basically just pertaining to those whose husbands swear not to have sex with them, right?
Well, there was
for those who swear not to have sexual relations with their wives is a waiting time of 4
that was
months.
before. I mean, that was like during menstruation, though.
No,
right?
No,
that was just in general.
A waiting time of 4 months.
Oh, sure, okay.
So it's even like the men are being like prodded into, hey, if I don't get to have sex, go find a new wife.
Well, no, not really. It just seems like
no. No, that's not what it's saying. It's
No?
saying that the wife is allowed to initiate divorce in the case that her husband hasn't had sex with her for 4 months.
Oh, so it's his fault then.
Yes.
Okay, so if he doesn't put out, see, it's still about making babies either way.
Yeah, yeah. They seem to.
But I don't think that that's a general allowance
No,
for all women to just freely divorce their husbands.
Right,
at
right.
any
Because
time.
they give you like, well, here's a certain period of time in which you have to basically think about your divorce.
Yeah.
And there is like a part where that has to be consensual, but that's for like child rearing.
Right.
The consensual
and
parts?
so here's the question. If a husband has sex with his wife regularly, can she legally initiate divorce?
That's a good question.
It's not clear in the
Yeah.
Quran, at least not in Surah 2 when they go over the divorce
I'm
rules.
sure they have like all these, what was it, the Jewish laws that we never read?
Oh, what, in the Talmud?
Yes, the
Oh, sure.
Talmud,
Yeah, the Talmud.
Talmud, they have I'm sure they have similar texts like Talmud level rulings.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there's
called
all
Hadith.
sorts-
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hadith.
Thank you.
And they have like the 4 main schools of thought, right? So like
Sure.
they so basically I was talking to the Muslims the other day about it, the Muslims at my work, and
Just the Muslims.
the Muslims. I know, that's why I had to
general.
clarify
All of
because I
them.
knew how weird that sounded. So yeah, I was talking to the Muslims at my work, and they were like, "Listen, for these like major groups, you basically like you can only follow one of them because sometimes they do contradict on things on like how someone should live their life, like on minor things." Like on when exactly someone should like wash their hands, like after or before something. But basically you pick one that works for you and you got to stick with it. So you can't like mix and match. But that was how it was described to me.
Mm-hmm.
But also that gambling thing, that was pretty interesting.
Yes.
Was it a
gambling
specific
thing.
game or any gambling at all? Or like any dice game at all?
It
Any
seemed
game
like
of
we
chance?
got a lot of contradictory responses in 2 places.
Right.
That was one of them.
You know,
Yeah.
what would be interesting after we finish the Quran is comparing the legal proceedings in the Quranic law to the legal proceedings within the Deuteronomistic law.
Right, yeah, we could. Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be
wow.
quite a bit of stuff that we'd have to cover.
It's
would be like
literally legal
analyzing-
scholarship.
I know.
It'd be like analyzing cell phone packages and plans and seeing which ones were the best. They have those layouts.
Oh, it'd be worse.
No, I know, but we'd have like that, but for like instead of just one page of those compare and contrast kind of, Excel document, whatever, ours would be like 60, 70 pages.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Anyways, hey,
Thank you.
Patreon, Discord, Amazon wishlist, Teespring, YouTube.
I put a T-shirt up.
YouTube when it's working.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yeah, all that stuff.
I do.
Thank you for all that stuff. I think you hit on all of it. So that's the show for today.
All right.
And we will see you on Wednesday. That's next week for the rest of the surah.